Do you agree that we've got this nice little integral just signifies the what from this curve? The area. Yeah, this is just the area under the curve. The area, and they even said from A to B, that area is just A. And you agree they shaded it in nicely for us, Mr. Clifford. They shaded it in. Okay. So, and then I said we since expanded our understanding so that when the area is beneath that x-axis, you agree that that'd be a negative area. So I just said, all right, this guy, the area of this from little a to little b. Notice little a here, little b over here. They made my areas big A, big B, and big C. That A and C would both be negative because they're underneath that x-axis. We okay with that? And you add those up. We're okay with that? So now my question is, what if I had this area? Yeah. Okay, I want to look at this picture up here. And if I said, what's the area? What are all of these areas from A to B added up? We could write it this way. But I also am curious what we could do with our bounds. You could split it up, meaning you could say, well, I could find the area from A to C. Agreed, that bound could be a C right there, bud. And then I would also need to then add up the areas from C to B, little c to little b. Agreed. Some above and some below within that's totally fine. The integral will take care of that. So I just want you to know we can also break these little integrals apart. Okay. So what happened? Oh, yeah. So what if instead of going from A to B, if I wanted to go from B to A? Any ideas? What happens when we go left typically? You're going to subtract it. It's just the opposite. So you guys, if they want to change our bounds, I want you to go ahead and say, if my bounds go from B to A, if we're going from right to left, I want you to put a negative in front of it. When, just like you said, Thomas, we're just going to subtract it or negate it. So if our bounds are flipped, meaning it's bigger than smaller. Oh God, did I not flip my bounds? You guys, I didn't flip my bounds. Something is wrong with me. Oh, yeah, from A to B, my bad. These were flipped. From B to A is backwards, right? So we always want the lower on the bottom and the upper on the top. So from A to B, if we negate that, we're just going to be getting this area backwards. Or it would really be saying that this would be under the curve. You know what I'm saying? If we're going from B to A, we would have a negative area. Here we go. Couple rules that I want to talk about, then we're going to apply them. Here we go. If we flip our bounds, what's this going to be? If I change my bounds from A to B, what do I have to put in front of this? All I changed was from B to A to B. A negative. Thanks, buddy. You're allowed to flip your bounds as long as you negate the entire integral, okay? Oh, you guys, what do you think my area would be if I found the area from A to A? Yeah, you're like, okay, wait. If you want me to find the area from A to A, how big do you think that's going to be? Nothing. Anytime those bounds match, we've got no area. You guys, if I've got a constant multiplied by this area, I wouldn't mess with it. I would just say, I want that constant out front. So you can bring any constant out front and say, I'm going to just go find that area and then multiply by a constant at the end. That constant could be in the terms of just a negative. If this negative was in here, when I pull it out front, you don't need to change the bounds because the negative was already in there. That negative can just come out front because it's like it's just a constant. Okay, you guys, if you're given two different functions that we've got integrals for, you can separate these into two different integrals. So we could say, all right, I could just find one area, f of x, and then I'm going to add or subtract the other area from A to B of g of x. We can break them apart. We don't have to put it all in one. Just like this next one. On this next one, if I had A, B, and C. And Cliff Dog, I'm going to talk about the area from A to B to C. This right here is saying my area from A to B. Cliff, you agree that's this area here? And then it's saying if I added the area from C to B, oh, from B to C, my bad, B to C, that's this red area, right? Could I put that all in one integral, do you think, you guys? A to C, you got it, Matney, of f of x. Very good. Okay, so you guys, they gave us this info. Notice that we've got some F info, and then I gave you some G info. And then here are their bounds, just to be mindful of their bounds. Okay, if we know, they want to know what's the area from 2 to 8 of F. I heard it, what did you say? Yeah. You guys, so this is exactly this question, Thomas. Am I allowed to say from 2 to 5 of F?
No, it's not the same question, though, because this doesn't have two different...
Yeah, you're right. So it'll be like this one. Good call. And from 5 to 8, do you agree that's going to be the area from 2 to 8?
Yeah.
Great. So, you guys, you do not need to write this like on one of these questions, but this is just if it were to help you see it. If you just did what Kate did and you're like, well, I know from 2 to 5, they said the answer is, the area is 6. So I'm going to say 6 plus the area from 5 to 8 is 9. When I add those up, I'm going to get 15. Done and done, Kate Mack. Let's go take a peek then at F minus G of 2 to 5. So what that means on this one, Thomas, yeah, from 2 to 5 of F, we can find just that one, then minus from 2 to 5 of G. That's all that's saying, that we can just do them separately. So do we know what 2 to 5 of F is? Yeah, that's 6. Minus, do we know what 2 to 5 is of G?
Because it's negative and we're putting that sign in, that means that we can flip them.
Yes. So wouldn't that be equivalent to pop plus 5 to 2?
Yeah.
Right? Now, we got to flip the bounds. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like how I just wrote that. If we just said minus.
So it's just 6 minus 3.
No, it's going to be 6 plus 3. Right? Yeah. Right? So, right. So this minus with my bounds, minus 2 to 5 switches to plus 5 to 2, and that's what they gave us, correct? Sorry, Lena, it might have misled you with that because we were both on the same page, but the answer would be positive 9. Okay, that's what you said. Minus negative 3 is maybe how you thought of it. Perfect. Thanks, Lena. Yeah, another way to think of that would have been minus and negative. Perfect. We okay with that, you guys? Good call. You guys, what's this considered right here? This is a constant. Bring it out front, y'all. Bring that 3 out front. This is the same as 3 at 3 integral 5 to 8 of f of x. Do we know what 5 to 8 is of f? 9. So what's my answer going to be? 27. You got it. How about 5 to 8? Ooh, of g.
10 plus 3 is 13 minus 3.
So close.
10 minus negative 3?
Yes. What did you say it was going to be? 13.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
Perfect. Lots of different ways to think about this. I've heard 10 plus 3, 10 minus negative 3. Yes. How do we think of this, you guys? This is just G info. And we want to get my area from 5 to 8. How did you think of it, Thomas?
10 plus 3.
How? Like, what? How did you know to do that?
5 to 2 and 2 to 8, and then I just got rid of 2.
5 to 2
Like,
and 2 to 8.
It's like a, I don't know.
This is how I would have done this personally. I would have said, all right, I know from 2 to 8, from 2 to 8, minus the area from 2 to 5. Wouldn't that get me the area from 5 to 8? A big old area from 2 to 8 minus 2 to 5 would leave me with 5 to 8? Yeah? So then I'm like, all right, let's see what they gave me. From 2 to 8, I know that one's 10. Minus, don't you agree we have to flip those bounds? So wouldn't it be plus 3 there, because it'd be minus a negative 3. And that's where we're going to get our 13. Whew. Let's practice it again. Let's practice it again. And then we'll see how AP is going to ask this stuff. This one's from AP Classroom. Area from 4 to 1 of F. F, F, H. Area from 4 to 1 of F. Anyone have any ideas? Positive 2. So good. This was negative 2, but my balance were switched, so it's just going to be 2. Love it. Negative 1 to 4 of F. Yes. Because you're like, okay, negative 1 to 1 plus 1 to 4. And a way to think, if you want to write this down, but don't feel like you have to, negative 1 to 1, and then I'd have to add 1 to 4, and that would get me negative 1 to 4. So that's going to be 5 and a negative 2 for an answer of 3. So good. Yes, Kate? And then we're doing a little, this is the rule that we were talking about, Thomas, right? With my F's and my H's, we can do them separately. Do we know what negative 1 to 1 is of F? 5. What do we need to do with that? Times 2. So are you cool with just writing 10? Yep. Do we know what negative 1 to 1 is of H? 7. Can we multiply that by 3? Final answer? You got it. Okay. AP is definitely going to give us, I'd say that they definitely give you one of these questions a year. One of these questions. So let's practice these. We know nothing about the function, but I know the area from 4 to negative 10 is negative 3, and 4 to 6 is 5. They want to know the area from negative 10 to 6. And sometimes me as a kid, maybe a visual would help. Negative 10 to 6. To go from negative 10 to 6, could I go from negative 10 to 4? And then could I go from 4 to 6? Yeah? And I got those numbers because of these bounds right here. How could I go from negative 10 to 4? What do we think this blue area would be? Positive 3. Very good. Because they had this backwards. So you're going to say 3. And, Danny, what about my area from 4 to 6? 5. Yeah. Final answer? Mm-hmm. Yeah. B. Oh. 2015. Ooh. Do you see a slight sneak that they're trying to catch in here? What do you see in here? That 2. Don't forget about that 2. That 2 is like the same as pulling it out front. You could keep that 2 out front. How are we going to get an area from 1 to 3? Look at our bounds. We've got 1 to 7 and a 7 to a 3. So again, I kind of like to visualize. It looks like we're going 1 to 7, and they're breaking it around a 3. This picture doesn't need to be accurate. This picture really plays no role other than maybe helping me with my balance. They're saying the whole area is 42. The whole area. Then they're saying from 7 to 3 moving backwards is negative 32. So what is from 3 to 7? What's from 3 to 7? Positive 32, right? This one has to be positive 32. And now they want the area from 1 to 3. Say that again, buddy. Yes, so good. He's saying, all right, well then wouldn't it be 42 minus 32, which is 10? And look at this, JC, how rude of them. They put a 10 right there. But JC said, I saw that too. He said, I know I got to multiply by that 2. 10 times 2 is going to get me 20. This one's a little rude. F and G are continuous. All right, we got 0 to 10 of F. 0 to 10 of half G is 8. Like, they're giving you these. Okay. Then they want from 3 to 10 of F minus, they're saying 3 to 10 of F minus G is 2. What's 0 to 3? Sheesh. Whew.
Can we just multiply 2 of that?
Yes. Right here. You're so, Lena, shoot. She's saying, all right, this is the same as pulling that 1/2 out front. And she's saying, well, it looks like I need to get my g of x by itself, right? We need to get that g of x. So Lena's saying, well, can't we just multiply by 2 to get that g of x by itself? So from 0 to 10, my g of x is 16. So smart, Lena. We got to do that. I think that's a tough zinger on this one, though. But that's genius. So now, how are we going to go from 0s and 10s and 3s to 10s from 0 to 3? Again, maybe a visual would help. I'm dealing with 0, 3, and 10. They gave us 0 to 10. They gave us 0 to 10 stuff. They gave us 3 to 10 stuff. So think big picture. How would I get from 0 to 3? Yeah. We want to subtract, right? We want 0 to 10 minus 3 to 10. That's going to leave us with 0 to 3. I agree with that. And all of these are f minus g's. 0 to 10 of f minus g. How could I get 0 to 10 of f minus g? Yeah. Cliff Dog's like, all right, we're going to start with 21 minus 16. That's my 0 to 10. Minus, what's my 3 to 10 of f minus g? Did they give us that? That's just 2. Final answer? Yeah. Good job.